So I am deeply concerned about our identity, very deeply concerned about our soul as a community. As I watch many times the African American community be so willing to sell itself short, to be the only community that does not truly know from whence she came, and not really have a grasp of where she is going. You see, when you do not have an identity, that is the fact of being who you are, when there is no clear-cut and definitive foundation on which you stand, what makes you you, then I am afraid that you many times sell yourself short. You many times allow others to define you, errantly and erroneously trying to peg you into certain boxes for their own convenience. And for too long, African American people have walked to someone else's drum when we are very capable of making our own music, because we have some sort of spiritual, emotional, cognitive amnesia, because we suffer from, as a collective, this identity crisis. And we allow people to tell us who we are. Instead of telling people who we are, we let people determine how they will help us, instead of letting people know how we will be helped. We let people placate us with trinkets instead of making real substantive change. We're so consumed with the look of it that we miss the substance of it. When people do not know who they are, they engage in learned helplessness, because their identity does not include a sense of strength, a sense of independence, or within the community, a sense of collective interdependence on each other. We wait for other people to bring us meals when we are very much capable of feeding ourselves. I'm concerned about my community. You can take down flags. You can remove monuments of Jackson and Lee and anyone else you want. But unless you remove the systems that have perpetually attempted to hold us down, systems that have perpetually discriminated against us and worked against our identity, then all you're doing is sound bites. And I just believe that this is a different day, that we have to wake up and do what is in our best interest. Because if we do not love ourselves, then how can we truly be able to love someone else? The Bible is clear. The first commandment, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second commandment is like the first. It says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I do believe in loving my neighbor, white, black, Asian, Native American, so on and so forth, on and on. But the critical component of that verse allows me also to know that if I can't love myself, then I am also in violation of the great commandments. We must learn to love ourselves, the hue of our skin, our African ancestry. We must learn to love ourselves, our innovativeness, our perseverance and resilience. We must learn to love ourselves and to champion justice that allows us to move out of a place of bondage, whether it be the physical bondage of slavery and the physical incarceration seen in the mass incarcerated movement, or the emotional bondage that comes from years of being disenfranchised and ignored, or the spiritual depravity that we now experience because, again, we have lost identity. When you lose identity, you engage in self-hate, and you engage in learned helplessness. And you, as a man who looks in the mirror and does not even know who he is or what he looks like once he turns away, I am concerned about my community. And it is my desire that we regain our sense of identity. Because once you learn who you are, you can demand that people treat you accordingly. Once you learn who you are, then you can optimize your own existence because you realize what is inside of you. You understand what your capabilities are. Once you realize who you are, you get a sense of identity. Accompanying with that is a sense of purpose, and when a person has purpose, they cannot be stopped. I'm looking for us to regain our sense of identity. The time for spiritual, moral, economic, cognitive, and otherwise amnesia has to be over. We have to wake up. Who are you?